Now, earlier tonight, the President and Michelle Obama welcomed the controversial rapper Common to the White House for a night of so-called poetry. Let's take a look.
Even through the unseen, I know that God watches. From one king's dream, he was able to barack us. One king's dream, he was able to barack us. One king's dream, he was able to barack us.
I have a dream.
Thank you and God bless.
One day.
I appreciate being here.
Now, to be clear, I am all for free speech, but I don't think this is the person the White House should be using as a role model for our kids, and I'm not the only one who feels this way. A local news station is reporting that the union representing New Jersey State Police is also outraged over the lyrics of a Common song titled A Song for Assata. Now, it praises Assata Shakur, a convicted cop killer, former Black Panther. Media mogul Russell Simmons disagrees with the outrage.
Common's a pretty peaceful, loving poet. Poet's job is to say things people think, even if you don't like it. That's their job. Every rapper that's famous is less gangster, less homophobic, less racist, less sexist than Sean Hannity. And I like him. But that's what I'm saying about the rappers who I know. Like a Snoop Dogg is less sexist than him. A Snoop Dogg is less racist than him. A Snoop Dogg is less homophobic than him. And a Snoop Dogg is a lot less gangster than him. So Sean Hannity has to handle his own business. He's got his own issues.
Now, he later apologized for saying I was racist, but finally someone thinks me, am more gangster than Snoop. Joining me now with reaction, Fox News political analyst Juan Williams and author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Culture of Corruption, Michelle Malkin.
Oh, my God.
What do you think, Juan? I think I'm more gangster. What do you think? I got a poll up on Hannity.com. I'm more gangster here.
I work here, but I must say this is the most absurd conversation. Now you're a gangster, Sean. I must say I've never had that reaction to you, buddy.
No, I didn't either. Well, look, all right, let me get to a serious side here, and I want to be clear because I have, in the history of this program, always supported controversial speech. Always. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. You know what? He has every right to produce and say what he wants. That's never been my question, as has been reported today. The question is the appropriateness, and I said that last night, the appropriateness of this guy being invited to the White House. Michelle.
Right, and I think Russell Simmons really does owe you much more of an apology, because it's not just the fact that you've always been a defender of controversial speech, but the idea of Russell Simmons using this entire episode to play the race card, to accuse you of homophobia, and to be in an alternate world and deny the racism and homophobia that is virulent, the misogyny that is virulent among so much of this violent gangsta thug rap. And context is everything, Sean. I think that what so many of the people on the reflexive cultural left are missing is that the kind of quote-unquote song that Common dedicated to convicted cop killer and fugitive from justice harbored by communist Cuba, Assata Shakur, that what they're missing is that this comes, it's just one of the long line of songs and pieces and raps that advocates violence and glorifies people who have undermined, sabotaged, and threatened violence against the thin blue line. That's why the New Jersey cops are mad, not because this is some sort of right-wing manufactured controversy. Ask all of the families of fallen officers across this country. Simple question, Juan.
And I know you're a good dad, and I'm thinking about how, I'm trying to raise my kids. Is this a guy that you would want your kids listening to? And I've got to wonder, is this a guy that President Obama and Michelle Obama would want their kids listening to, the stuff that we're talking about here?
Well, yeah, among rappers, and I think you've heard this from other people, among rappers, this guy's a little bit stronger than Will Smith, I mean, this guy is a very socially conscious, responsible guy.
Killing cops?
You know what? That is so outrageous. I don't want any part of anybody talking about attacking law enforcement officers
but that's
who
the point.
are friends and family for me. So, but I understand in the sense, remember this, Sean, you're talking about a black experience in America. You're talking about holding up people like Malcolm X, people who stand against injustice, against police brutality. And
but
if you have
it sounds like you're making a bit of an excuse here.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you the social context for people who are listening to that music and responding to it positively.
He has every right to say it, rap it. You know, look, I guess I'm a poet now because I say controversial things. But my point is, you know, Michelle, I can't imagine that these things that are controversial, that the Obamas would want their own daughters to listen to. I would be shocked if they did.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I find it interesting that Juan and others are trying to square this circle and defend Common as a quote-unquote socially conscious poet and at the same time ignore the message of glorifying a convicted cop killer. You can't have it both ways. And the civility police can't have it both ways either. On the one hand, they're always telling us that words matter, concepts matter, threats matter, and yet when it comes to the threats and the words that came out of Common in glorifying this convicted criminal and fugitive from justice, it has to be said again, oh, it's just the expressions of an artistic soul. You can't have it both ways.
In fact, I think in the song, Michelle, I think he's making the case that he doesn't believe she's guilty of the crime. But let's put that aside because I think that's minor. I think your point is on target, which is this guy glorifying a cop killer? If that's the case, he's worthy of every condemnation in the world.
Well, I think he is.
When Sean was asking about do the Obamas want their kid, I don't want my kids listening to a lot of this misogynistic, N-word, violent rap music. I think it's very negative images of black people. But let me just tell you very clearly that there are so many, you know, artists out there. I mean, you know, you stop and think about Elvis going in to see President Nixon, and he was going there to be awarded for his drug policy. How crazy is that? Or you think about, you know, Ted Nugent's always on this. People tell me Ted Nugent's a guy who says Barack Obama's a piece of crap, you know, and that Barack Obama said shuck on a machine gun.
Here's the
we
difference.
Don't keep him off the air.
Nobody was talking about this rapper until he was invited to the White House. We wouldn't be talking about him today. In other words, he said all these things, can say all these things, and nobody's going to pay attention except for his fans. But the question is the appropriateness of the White House. That's what the big difference is.
No,
I don't really care what he says. I don't like it, but I'm not listening to it. And I don't let my kids listen to it.
You don't have to listen to it, but I'm saying, in fact, maybe Barack Obama can have a positive influence on him. Barack Obama is a tremendously positive family man influence in the black community.
I wonder if he'd want his kids to listen to this. I think it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, but what the kids listen to it, Sean, and that guy has power. He's commercially successful right now as an actor and a rapper.
Juan, you see this? This is my iPhone. I have complete control of kids' iPhones. I own them. I paid for them. They are mine. I get to look at them, and I get to spy on them. But
you know what? Hey, your kids are teenagers. You're going to find out, Big Daddy.
You don't
control it.
All right, guys, good to see you both. I appreciate you being with us. Time now to check in with Martha McCallum standing by. She is in for Greta Van Susteren tonight for a big show in the literally 5 feet over in the next studio.
Hey there, Sean. Thank you very much. So On the Record broke many details in the Casey Anthony case nearly 3 years ago. Can you believe that trial is now underway? Our legal panel is here to weigh in on that. Plus, we'll get back to the Common controversy. Rapper and poet Common performing at the White House tonight. Governor Sarah Palin and hip-hop artist Master P will both weigh in on that one coming up on the Record.
We'll be watching in 18 short minutes from right now. Let not your heart be troubled. Our great American panel is next. And tonight on our great American panel, he's a former reporter, columnist, and editor for the Wall Street Journal, author of the new book, Berlin in 1961, the year I was born, Kennedy, Khrushchev, and the Most Dangerous Place on Earth. Frederick Kemp is here. She, an associate professor of political science at Occidental College. Caroline Heldman is back, and he's a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame, superstar of the Harlem Globetrotters for more than 25 seasons. My friend, Meadowlark Lemon, is back. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm great. All right. You were just telling us you were rapping at the time Blondie was rapping. Is that true?
Well, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And we were in the studio, and one of the writers just started writing some things. I was born in the middle of a pickup game. My mama was cheering and my papa was playing. No time for the doctor to deliver me. The first spanking I got was from a referee.
Very good. Well, what do you make of rap today, hip-hop today, bees, hoes, shooting, killing, gangs. And that's not all rap, but it's some of it. It's a lot of it. And what do you think about this rapper being invited to the White House based on his controversial statements?
Well, I saw something about it today on television. And it said something about President Bush was a burning bush.
Yep.
Well, I looked at it a little different. Because, you know, when we were growing up, we would say, sticks and stones may hurt our bones, but words would never hurt us. Mm-hmm. Not so. Words are the most powerful thing on earth. They will hurt you. They can destroy you. But when Moses went up on the mountain of God, he saw God through a burning bush.
Well, if you read the line before and the line after, he's talking about Saddam, weapons of mass destruction, and oil on the other side of it. Carol, do you have a problem with this?
I do. I think you are painting a really inaccurate picture of Common. I mean, it's like taking this small number of things. It's like taking the Dalai Lama and saying because he thought that killing Osama bin Laden was justified, that makes him a warmonger. No, Common is a conscious rapper.
This guy wrote a song. Wait a minute. Hang on a second.
Conscious rap and hip hop.
He wrote a song praising cop killer. Cop killer.
You know, he wrote
he
a song.
talks about strapping a gun on and killing cops.
He tries to complicate the Shakur case, and if you look online or you read about it, there is more to that than meets the eye. And I'm not at all in favor of cop killers, but he is.
I don't care. Look, I'm going to support you on the free speech side of it, but the appropriateness of bringing him to the White House is my issue.
I have a two-line rhyme about this.
Oh, boy, everyone's sorry. Go for it.
Sorry.
Common's not my cup of tea, but he doesn't have to please me. But is he really a disgrace to the presidency? And I would say he's not. I believe in what you're saying in free speech, but if free speech is good enough on the street, and he's a tame rapper. Earlier, we heard him referred to as just a step up from Will Smith.
He's praising a cop killer in the lyrics. No. And he's done it in other things. He's praising people that have killed cops.
No, he is.
Yes,
no.
he is.
Here's where the president made a mistake. Political judgment. Do you really want this as an issue right now after you've killed Osama bin Laden? So I would question the president's political judgment of not scanning every one of his raps.
He hangs out with radical people all the time.
Sean, he invited Billy Collins to the White House to speak tonight as well. He has sexually explicit poetry.
All right, wait a minute.
He even has some violent language.
Interracial
Why aren't you
dating
going
and
after
marriage.
the white guy?
We have
Why are
two
you going
people
after
tonight
the black
against
guy?
interracial dating and marriage. Now, if I had that position, would I be on the air today?
He's against
no. Answer that.
Dating and marriage?
Yes.
I refuse to believe that.
Him and another Jill, somebody, whatever her name is.
Jill Scott. I refuse to believe.
Wait a minute. Would she? If I took that position, would I be on the air today?
Oh, you're not claiming that they are. No, of course you wouldn't, Sean.
Okay, so they're invited to the White House. They're honored by going to the People's House. Yeah.
Poets historically have been edgy. If you're an edgy poet, should you not be invited to the White House? I think it's an art form. I think it captures a whole part of society.
Man.
Why not invite him in?
You think he'd let his daughters listen to this?
Yes, of course. He's a conscious rapper. He has amazing songs that have actually shifted rap and hip hop away from violence and misogyny.
You haven't read this guy's stuff.
I know his work. I've met him.
I've read the others rapper stuff, and this is tame.
More of the Great American Panel next. Well, you're an atheist. All right. We're on the air again. Welcome back with our Great American Panel. All right. You were just disagreeing. You didn't believe me. All right. This is from, it was on the Drudge Report today, June edition, Touch Magazine. So you don't agree with mixed race relationships. Common. I disagree with them. It's a lack of self-love. It's a problem. Have you ever dated outside your race? No, not dated. Have you ever slept with people outside your race? Oh, yeah, definitely have.
Yeah. Sean, he's making a really interesting critique that black men will often date white women in order to raise...
Is that racist?
Is that racist? That's responding to a system of oppression that we have in the United States that values what white people do and values white people more than black people.
How about we leave people alone, and if two people are in love, we let them date whoever they want? How about that?
I wish it were that way.
That's an interesting thought. Meadowlark?
It is that way.
It's not that way. There's status involved with dating a white woman if you're a black man, and you can't deny that. There's a status.
Do you have a problem with it?
Do I have a problem with it? I have a problem with the fact that there are power differentials by race in this country. I don't think that's a good thing. His response is interesting.
Meadowlark?
I guess half of my family is lighter than you. Okay, so the other half is dark as I am. So what do I say about that? Oh, they're my family, and I love them very much, and very, very much. And I'd hurt this table here if they hurt my family.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's the way.
So he said it, and we're just ignoring it. All right, if I said it, I wouldn't be on the air. But I don't believe it. I'm libertarian in the sense, leave people alone. Let them date whoever they want to date. I don't get it. But, of course, he gets I've never been invited to the White House. President Obama won't sit down with me. He won't invite me even to the White House Christmas party.
Maybe this show and your statement will change that right now. But
I tend to doubt it.
Look,
and I'm a poet. I'm an artist based on his definition.
What's true, I don't know enough about him and his racism. Is he not racist, whatever. But you have to call racists racist, whether they're black or whether they're white, and then you have to lead a society that works its way away from that.
Look, I don't even think I don't like his racial view. I don't like the term racist being thrown around like crazy.
No.
All right, so I will concede that point. I'm not saying he's racist, but I am saying that if I said it or other people say it that are in the public eye, there would be a far different reaction.
Well, it wouldn't be the
I
same
wouldn't
thing.
be called a poet. I wouldn't be called
anything, Sean. You're at the top of the pile. You're a white male.
Top of the pile of what?
Socioeconomically, in terms of what we value.
How do you know where I am socioeconomically?
Because
you have no idea how much I make.
everyone knows it's the unspoken rules of our culture.
Oh.
Yes, you're male and you're white and
male,
you're wealthy.
white, and
you have unearned privilege. You benefit.
So I should really give back every penny I make.
Well, you should. You do give back quite a bit, and
yes,
I respect you for that. But what he's not saying, Common is not.
Saw it. This is great.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Common's not saying he doesn't love or respect white women. He's saying that he doesn't want to be a part of this pattern where black men try to improve their status.
How about he dates somebody that he falls in love with? Why can't we break it down?
I hope that he does. I'm sure that he has.
Well, apparently he has some bias against dating certain people because of their color.
No, not because of their color.
No, he'll sleep with them. He won't date them.
He doesn't want to support a system that degrades black women, and for that, I respect the man.
You respect him. Well, he's a friend, I guess. All right. I don't really have much time for all of this. The TSA pat-down. Did you see the pat-down of the infant? It was pretty outrageous.
It's state-sanctioned pedophilia. How is this any different?
There's a little infant. Meadowlark?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, right there. Little infant baby being patted down.
I don't like that. I don't like them when they pat me down. You know, they say, well, I love you, man. I've known you all my life. Get in that booth.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
You now can get a global pass, and so you can go back through if you're a low-risk person, and Homeland Security is trying to take low-risk passengers out of the...
Yeah.
So this low-risk passenger has to... I think we need a global baby pass.
We got to run. We're late. Martha McCallum's next. See you tomorrow night.